I'm standing here with someone who's really instrumental in being able to help young folks move forward. That's going to help our recruiting efforts. So I'll let him speak for himself.
My name is Fred Robinson, and I'm the chair of Mayor Jerry Deming's Veterans Advisory Council. We have a YouTube operation outreach that tells about the different things the different veterans organizations are offering throughout the United States. Also, there's something that I would like to share with everyone, that I sit on quite a few congressional panels that interview candidates going to the academies. And the thing is, each chapter of the Tuskegee Airmen should get with a local congressman and make sure that they are one of the people who interview the candidates on the panel. I'm the former COO of the Department of Florida, American Legion, which is the title of Assistant Adjutant. There is a program called Boys State and Girls State, in which they go to the Capitol for a week to learn about democracy and our legislation. Once they complete that in their junior year, they come back and champion it in their senior year. And that's the equivalent of an Eagle Scout. So it's very, very important that people know about this, because it's one of the best kept secrets in the community. I applaud our young youth that are looking to further themselves, but we need to educate them about aviation and avionics. We are old and going, they are young and coming, and we need to make sure that they know what's available for them so they can be the future leaders of America. Thank you for letting me have this interview.
This is really going to help our folks when we try to recruit for the Federal Aviation Administration. We're trying to bring technicians in. We're trying to bring folks in who want to fly. We're trying to bring folks in who have degrees, and we're trying to bring in folks who are basically, program analysts, people who just want to help put things together and track things along, and budget people. So we need the whole gamut. A lot of folks in my age are looking for retirement, and we need to be able to replace us with some more folks who would just, if they knew, they could do it. And that's what I say as I go out a lot. If you see it, you can be it. So we want to be able to show that. And I need you to agree with me on that.
Yes, you have to see it to be it.
Amen.
And the thing is, it's don't be afraid to fail. That's how you learn. You fall down, you get back up. But there's a lot of people out here to support you if you go and look for the help.
I'm Wayman Brothers. I'm president of the New Orleans chapter of the Tuskegee Airmen, and we started a flight academy down there with National, and our chapter began this year.
In New Orleans?
In New Orleans. And the flight academy had its first 8-week training for kids. We had about 9 students to get their pilot's license, and 2 crew chiefs. My grandson participated in it. And then we have another program that we're going to be doing it again next year, around the summer months, that we're going to train 12 students, and we have a young lady that's going to participate in our program.
Awesome.
So you can reach us down in New Orleans. I gave my card, and definitely be talking with you guys so how we could collaborate. I got a bunch of fundraisers I'm doing because our chapter is brand new in New Orleans. So we're going to be doing it. And next year, come to New Orleans because we're doing the 2025 National Chapters Convention in New Orleans.
Now, what about engineers and
well, that's what we want to do. We want to expand it to, because what we're doing is going in our high schools, and we're trying to train students that there's industry has jobs for them, and they need to start participating in it. So that's one of the things. I have some little things online. I do things at the World War II Museum, and I'm a tour guide down there. So whenever you guys are coming down, come on and see Wayman.
It's a blessing. Thank you so much.
So I'm Toby Hubbard, president of the Chappie James chapter of Tuskegee Airmen in Florida. We have an aviation program that deals with the flying piece of it as well as the drone. So an individual who is a civilian pilot and a drone pilot brings in kids from ages 10 through 18, mainly those in the young teens.
Nice.
And he sends them through ground school for aircraft training. And after that, then we get into an actual letting them fly through a program called Young Eagles.
Young Eagles.
You may have heard of the Young Eagles.
Okay.
It's sponsored by the it's a retired pilot. I can't believe I can't call the name right now.
That's okay.
But anyway, it's retired pilots on their own nickel come in and fly kids around the airfield.
That is nice.
Which is great. Then we do some drone orientation. Many kids have their own drones, but we teach them FAA rules, how to fly them. In some cases, kids have had an opportunity to make some money. One specific example is during a hurricane in Florida. A couple of years ago, the local authorities needed to get some footage of a hurricane damaged area, so they were looking for drone pilots to come in and catch some footage.
That's awesome.
So one of our 16-year-olds who completed the drone program actually had a chance to fly drones to capture footage of that. He was given $600 to do that.
Wow.
So that was a wonderful story for kids. Here's what you can do that you love to do, but there's some profitability in it. There's a career behind it.
Yes.
So that's what we're trying to do with kids, to get them into something other than sports and playing ball.
We need to take that example and duplicate that and make people aware of the information he's talking about, because it's a reality. This is not a joke. This is real.
That's it. And of course, we find ourselves not being able to do everything we want to do for the obvious reason it takes funds to get drones, but that's another story. So fortunately, we've had a couple of folks through some funding grants to assist us with purchasing drones. Then the cost of the training, as well as when we get licenses. You know, like anything, it's the cost money for that.
That's money.
So once we get the kids interested, then we have to figure out how to get them the rest of the way. Because some of these kids are from impoverished neighborhoods. They've never even seen inside of an aircraft because they just don't have the opportunities. So
And you're in Florida. You're just in
Florida.
Man, amazing, amazing. It's amazing. We can do some of these things if we make people aware that it can happen. So,
well, thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you for yours.
Hi, my name is Tracy Scott, and I work at MITRE right now. But my dad, Jesse Scott, Captain Jesse A. Scott, was a Tuskegee Airman, and here's his story. Daddy was 14 years old. Please, I get a little emotional when I talk about this. But Daddy was living in Fort Worth, Texas, and he loved to fly. So at 14 years old, he got on a bus by himself and rode across the South to Tuskegee, Alabama. And when he got there, they were like, "You're a little bit too young." But he was tenacious and he stayed. And so they let him take classes and do things there at Tuskegee Institute. And then about 17 years old, they said, "Okay, you can fly." So he started to learn how to fly. And just when he went to get his wings, they did a physical and found out he was colorblind. And he went through all of that. And they said, "Well, you can't fly, but we'll make you a ground crewman." And so, as I understand, he was a ground crewman for Ben Davis, General Davis. And I had the opportunity to meet General Davis. I used to work at CBS News, and General Davis came in for an interview. And I said, "Excuse me, sir, do you know the name Jesse Scott?" And he's like, "Oh, I know Jesse." And I know, but it just warmed my heart.
Yes.
And so Daddy right now is buried at Arlington Cemetery, right down the road from here. And I am so incredibly proud of him and all the airmen. And I know there are just a couple left, but I'm so grateful what everyone is doing to keep their legacy strong, because we have to.
Yes.
We cannot lose that part of our history.
Right. And what we're doing to try to encourage the young people.
Yes.
Come in.
And so whatever we can do to encourage young people to keep the history, the legacy, that knowledge going, but also teach them.
Yes.
And these young people, oh my goodness, they are so amazing, especially not only with aviation, but with technology.
Yes.
They have so much knowledge, and I'm just so proud of them as well.
Yeah. Cybersecurity, AI,
engineering, all of it.
Yes.
Our young people, I'm so proud. I'm so proud. I think we're going to leave them in good hands.
We need to keep the flame burning for them.
Absolutely.
But thanks to you, it's happening.
Well,
so
thank you.
You
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
very much. So I have written a book about my time in Iraq as a civilian. I went to the Operation Iraqi Freedom. Daddy did not want me to get into the military, but he didn't say I couldn't go to a war zone. So I did my part, went in 2003. Came back in July of 2004. But I've written a book about my time in Iraq, and it's called "Take Off Your Hoop Earrings Before You Put On Your Gas Mask: A Civilian Chick Survival Guide to a War Zone."
I love it.
And so it talks about lessons that I learned in the war zone. One of those lessons is always be prepared. My favorite chapter. Always be prepared, because you never know when you're going to have to put makeup on the Secretary of Defense. Yeah. And it's when Donald Rumsfeld came through Iraq, and somebody turned to me. He was getting ready to do a press conference, and he said, "Tracy, do you have makeup for the Secretary?" And I'm like, Is he wearing mahogany? Because I can't run down to the Baghdad Sephora and
Right.
pick something up for him. But these are all life lessons. So as I do speaking engagements around the country, I will share this information.
And you like, when you're at the station, you're like, okay, Italy, I know we're gonna get there. So when we finally got there, we was like, wait a minute, they said Roma, Italy. So we go to Google and we like, that's the actual place. This is not movie magic, this is the actual place. so we did some research and we found out, okay, there is this. So let's go and see and dig a little deeper and make sure that what the books and what people have told us in the stories is true. And that's what our team did. That's why we formed a team to go from the airmen and from the civilians at Albiano. We said, hey, we're gonna form this committee and we're gonna make sure that we, and then two, just getting around Italy and just understanding the dynamics of it.
Talking about them being captured in the book.
I don't know if all of them are captured, but I know on our website, sometimes there's little snippets with pictures that we've never seen before because they're donating. Because as we're spreading the Tuskegee story, we're seeing more things come out. But at the time, I wasn't able to capture that because it was just us, mainly with the people, and normally it was just so much love coming our way that we really couldn't capture what it was going at. But
something for Mr. Johnson.
okay.
This is from the municipality of Campo Marino and from my office, from the Black Case Museum. So this is for you.
Nice. Oh, it's going to the building.
And another one is for National President, Mr. Jerry Barton. On behalf of our community, of the Ramitelli people, of the people of Campo Marino and Ramitelli, land of equality and integration, we thank you for your work and your support.
Just a couple.
Just a couple. First of all, Bruce made the whole trip sound really glamorous. So I'll add some context. First of all, it was a week and a half before he asked for me to come out there. I knew it was happening, but a week and a half, he said, okay, this is it. Second thing is, it was like a 10-hour round trip in the car. And me and Bruce, we got to know each other very well. and I don't think there's any more stories I can tell Bruce about myself to keep him awake. So, and the last part about the glamorous, it was, if anybody's ever been on the Adriatic, it's really, really hot. I learned a lot. They did everything they could to take me to the operations building, and it will, it will hit you. I mean, seriously, it will hit you. You see the pictures with it all cleaned up. There's, a tree growing in it. There's vines and stuff everywhere, but it is Ramitelli. And whatever you need to do, I highly recommend making your way to Ramitelli. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Could we have another round of applause for
Photos with Dota, Daniel Keel of the Chappie James chapter amongst the multiple chapters that got it done. And now we have, speaking of Chappie James chapter.
Yes, this is Toby Hubbard from the Chappie James chapter. The numbers pretty much tell us what we're doing right now. And I would say that we did increase our membership this year for about 10 people, so that's a great change for us. And we've been giving out scholarships for the last 20 years. We average about 3,000 to 4,000
and it's based upon our deep pockets. So you can move to the next one. Just kidding. And I'm not gonna go through all this, but I will say that there are two things I will highlight. We had a 16.
This is
I was
Joe
branch
Pons.
chief. Yeah, Joe Pons, branch chief for the U.S. Army's Air Traffic Control School. At the time, I was at Fort Rucker, Alabama. Okay, and I taught VFR and IFR procedures. I was the branch chief.
Wow.
First black.
Wow.
In the Air Traffic Control School.
Wow.
And since I was teaching, I just went ahead and took my certification test and got my air traffic controller's license.
Wow. Fantastic. That's awesome.
There you have it. How about that?
And you've helped, I guess, thousands of young folks come into the aviation field.
Well, I was because I was as a branch chief. Yeah. So all the students that would come through the Army's program, they had to come through me.
Man.
Yeah, they had to come
Awesome.
through me.
Well, thank you
So
for
I
your
did
service.
that. And that was. Are you kidding me?
Many moons ago.
That was 1970.
Wow.
80, 90,
That's
2000,
That's 50.
10, 20, 54 years.
54 years ago. Just a few days ago, right?
Yeah. Who would have thumped it, right?
Thank you, sir, for your service.
Yeah.
This is Sylvester Terry. I just
Hey,
want to
how-
introduce you to the rest of the world out there. What are you doing to help the young folks get jobs?
Well, that's an excellent question. Part of the foundation of Tuskegee Airmen, we have two primary pillars at the national level, one being maintaining the legacy and making sure we continue to talk about that greatest generation, our World War II American heroes, these men who fought to fight, right? Due to racial unrest at that time. We stand on their shoulders at this point. So I count it a privilege to be able to continue that legacy and to talk about it. But the second pillar is basically those shoulders that we talked about. We are also tasked to share that news with our youth. My chapter specifically, we work with middle school and up, but we have had some students as young as 8 in our drone camps. We do trips to air shows, expose them to not just the fact that they're pilots, but there's also mechanics, doctors, nurses, engineers. I myself was a navigational aids technician and supervisor in my Air Force career and transitioned into satellite communications as well. And then of course through the ranks you have roles of supervision as well as turning the screwdriver. And I tell that story to middle school, high school, college entry kids, Air Force Junior ROTC. I've gone to do the presentation of the Tuskegee Airmen ribbons, and which is something that they are authorized by the Department of Air Force to wear on their Junior ROTC uniforms. So we're also developing STEM programs that cover the science, technology, engineering, and math. When we do a 4-day, and ironic that we're talking to my FAA rep here, that our program teaches the FAA Trust Certificate on a 4-day drone camp. Everything from this is a drone, yes, it's a flying robot, it has some pre-programmed features, and other versions of this unit are programmable as well. So it's a flying robot in the STEM capabilities. We only teach the operation, but FAA rules, regulations, where to fly, where you can't, altitudes, communications with air traffic control via the various apps that are involved. Fairly in-depth. It touches on a little bit of the Part 107 professional drone camp piloting as well. So as region rep, and I have 5 chapters that I'm supposed to coordinate on behalf of the Eastern Region president. I make sure that they are aware of what we're doing. I steal ideas from them, they steal ideas from our chapter, but we all are out here in benefit of the camp.
Okay. And as of today, you are in contact with someone from the FAA who can give you information about some of the outreach programs we have, and if we collaborate with those items together, oh my goodness.
Yeah, we're excited. The STEM program that I spoke of, we're partnered with, in the Central Florida Orlando region, we're partnered with companies that train A&P, so mechanical, riveting, wiring, and that type of thing on the physical aircraft. We're also involved with a technology company that builds a box for the F-35 and several other U.S. military aircraft. They've come on board to host STEM programs, but we also partner with a group called the Talented 10. They look for that cream of the crop to prepare them for appointments at Navy, Air Force, Army academies, as well as the Ivy League schools. There's a young man that came through our particular program who is a second-year Naval Academy cadet with a 4.0 GPA.
Whoa.
His sister just received a full ride scholarship to, I believe, Stetson. So those are just a couple out of thousands that we're dealing with in the last 5 years that our chapters existed. And we're excited, really, to share that element that you have just introduced yesterday. And I'm socializing that as much as possible. In fact, I have a couple more contacts to introduce my FAA contact to give reach, because that's a program that needs to be socialized and advertised nationally. It's a significant benefit. It's exactly, our chapter has a 3-point stool. The legacy concept, of course. Part 2 is exposing the community to these areas that there's not just piloting, but there's so many other careers available with aviation avionics. But then the part 3 is to find jobs, to give them the interface and connections to get employment. So this employment opportunity that you presented to the FAA is a gateway.
And a pathway.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So it ties right into what we're already working on. I'm thrilled and can't wait to see it take off.
Let's keep it going.
Yes, sir.
All right. See, that's how we work.
That's how we do it.
Gotcha. Okay, today we have a young man who's actually been a pilot in the United States Air Force. And as I always say, if you see it, you can be it. So look at this guy. He's done it. Tell him what you've done.
Yeah, so my name's Yaron Rue. I've been so very blessed with a number of opportunities. I retired from the Air Force after just under 22 years of service, where I primarily flew C-17 aircraft for 20 of those years. And then I was fortunate to, after retirement, transition to commercial aviation, where today I'm currently a pilot for FedEx. And so you can do it. I grew up not knowing anything about aviation, not even dreaming to be a pilot, and just by the grace of God, I had different people open up doors and show me what was in the realm of possible. And here I am now, many years later, but just so thankful for the opportunity to be a pilot and then to give back and hopefully inspire someone to do the same.
Fantastic. And now you're with
FedEx. So
FedEx.
I fly. So send your packages through FedEx if you can.
There you go.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
I appreciate it. Yeah. So you're here at the Tuskegee Airmen Conference. You've probably been doing this for years, but what is it you're here for?
So we're here to talk to the youth and really the public as well about Air Force Special Operations Command. We're all based out of Hurlburt Field. I have a pamphlet here that describes everything that AFSOC is. Hurlburt Field is actually the headquarters for Special Operations Command. And here we have our aircraft. We have the MC-130s, that's what I'm a mechanic on. We have all different sorts of aircraft here that are they're in Florida and in New Mexico, Clovis, New Mexico. And then we also have a lot of the Special Forces jobs. So things that the Army Rangers do and Navy SEALs and Green Berets do, we have Air Force personnel that do the same thing. We have pararescue, they jump out of aircraft. We have combat controllers that call in airstrikes, set up runways in like austere conditions. And we also supplement the Rangers and the SEALs. And we also have our support functions like myself, medical, admin, and that's pretty much it.
So a variety of careers.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. If you see it, you can be it.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for what you do.
Of course. Thank you.
Appreciate your service, sir.
Thank you.
My name is Brittany. I'm in the Air Force, and your uncle here is telling me that you've thought about the Air Force. I wanted to tell you, joining was probably the best thing that's happened to me. The military has helped me get my associate's degree, my bachelor's degree, and now I'm about to start my master's degree. The Air Force has 100% been a lifesaver for me. I recommend it 100%.
We got Staff Sergeant Kevin Walters.
I'm Captain Jordan Brimage.
I'm Senior Airman Sean Bowens Jr. Senior Airman Travion Donnelly.
And you all are trying to bring young folks into the career field, right?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you for your service, each and every one of you.
Thank you for your support.
Much appreciated.
Thank you for
Have a wonderful, blessed day.
You too.
Kansas City, Missouri,
Yes.
Heart of America chapter.
Okay.
Chief Whitley, I'm the president. My first name is Morrissey.
Okay.
M-O-R-C-I-E.
Okay.
Phone number is 816-392-6558. And we also do the pocket patches.
Okay.
So
All right.
contact me anytime.
All right.
Okay.
We have a program that, as we said, for high schoolers. Our high school program, if they're in the 11th or 12th grade, they can get a stipend while they're in school. And all they have to do is complete 30 hours whenever they get time during their week, and they can get a stipend. So we have that program. That's called our Pathways program. We also have a Gateways program. I'm here at headquarters, FAA.
I don't mind jumping on the airplane.
All right.
I got a little money.
And we can do
I
Zoom.
got a little money now.
We can do Zoom to
That's
get
even
things
better.
started.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I got a little money. Hello.
All right. Fantastic.
Yeah.
This is
I'm
good.
trying to get a STEM program.
Are you all together?
No, I'm from Archer Ragsdale chapter in Arizona.
Arizona.
Let's
do this. What are you doing?
He gave me
So what are you doing in Arizona?
And he
I'm the chapter secretary.
Okay.
And I'm retired.
Do you have young folks that you want to get involved?
Yes.
Okay.
We always have been for the past 18 years
Mhm.
working with OVAP through the ACE program.
Okay.
Well, our youth director left the chapter in January, so we didn't really take part this year. Then we went to OVAP and tried to get a MOU generated so we'll know who's going to zoo. And that hasn't come to fruition yet. But we took 5 students in a program that we had. We called it the Chief Tool.
Right.
And it was an introduction to flight college.
Okay. Give me your contact information.
Ron Hilliard.
Yeah, I got it here, but go ahead.
Phone number 987-9149.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Let me turn this
Anytime.
on. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to Mr. Thomas Gray. He has information that we need to know about. So, Mr. Gray, show us what you got and what you've done.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Thomas Gray. I'm with the Sam Bruce chapter of the Tuskegee Airmen in Seattle, Washington. And I was a flight test engineer for Boeing. I went to work for Boeing in 1961. And I've worked on the 737 program when Boeing first built their first 737s. I was a flight test instrumentation engineer. I worked on the second 737 Boeing built. That went to Lufthansa Airline. And then I moved over to the 747 when they start building the first 747. And I just recently went up to the last 747 that Boeing built. Boeing built 1,574 747s.
Man.
And this is a picture of the last 747 Boeing built. And they delivered the last one on February 1st of 2024. And this is a picture of the first 747 that I worked on. That was known as RA001. And that was the first 747.
Amazing.
And when I went up to the delivery, I was interviewed by a couple of media outlets, and this is the interview I did on YouTube for about the last 747. I was telling about one of the incidents that we had on one of our flight tests, and so that 747 was my office for 17 years.
Wow.
We used it as a flying test bed for the 757 and 767 engines. And I also worked on the space shuttle carrier, the 747 that carried the shuttle up. We launched the Enterprise down in California in August of 1977. That was before they sent the shuttles into space. And so I had several exciting adventures. I remember Judy Resnick, who was on the Challenger, she came and flew the first 747. And she came along with Sally Ride at the time.
Wow.
And so I like to tell people I rode with Sally Ride. But it's been an interesting career with the Boeing company. So I'm glad to get to meet Mr. Herbert
Michael
Thomas, yeah.
With the FAA.
Yeah, the FAA.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Appreciate your service.
That's good.
Now, what is this, Mr. Gray?
Well, this is a piece of the last 747 that was built. The 1,574th 747.
And they gave it to you.
This was they passed this out to all of the people that had worked on the 747.
Wow.
Yeah, the Incredibles, as they call us.
Fantastic. Thank you, sir.
Okay.